Hey guys, today I'm driving a 2015 Audi Q5 with a 3-liter supercharged engine. It is available with a 2-liter turbocharged motor and a diesel, which you can no longer buy unless you go pre-owned. The diesel is actually my favorite engine in this car. It's absolutely amazing. 240 horsepower, 430 some odd foot-pounds of torque, and it's a locomotive. And it gets about 35 mpg highway in the Q5. In the A6, A7, A8 does even better. It's 40 plus miles per gallon. But don't worry about buying one of those because you can't right now. And until Volkswagen figures that out, which I don't think they are, you're left with the 3.0 and the 2.0. I've had a lot of seat time in both. And while I do appreciate the 4-cylinder, has a lot of torque, almost the same amount of torque as the 3.0 does, it doesn't have the same urgency. I really like the power on the 3.0. It's the same motor they use in their S4 and S5, the current generation S4, S5. The B8, the B9 is going to use a turbocharged engine. It's no longer going to be supercharged. But for the time being, the 3.0 is used in a lot of Audis, and it's a great engine. I love it. It's made into a ZF 8-speed transmission, which is awesome. Shifts are super smooth, and when you put it in sport mode, it does seem to kind of always find the right RPMs, and it's always in the right gear. This Q5 is one of the top sellers in the crossover SUV market, and it's a really competitive market. I mean, you've got offerings from all the German guys. You've got Volvo in the mix. You've got Jaguar selling an SUV. You've got Porsche selling the Macan. I mean, there are a ton of competitors in this segment. So if I was in the market for a crossover SUV, I'd have a really tough time. I mean, I'd want to drive at least 6 or 7 of the current offerings and base my decision on that. But the Q5 I enjoy a lot. Has a very organic shape, and they refreshed it in 2013 or 14 maybe. New headlights, new tail lights, some new technology. The LEDs look a lot better. They gave it Google Earth imaging and Wi-Fi that'll support up to 8 devices. I'm looking at the Google Earth image now. It's crisp, it looks good. You can zoom into a street view. It's a cool nav system. It's got Bluetooth streaming. You can sync 4 phones in the car. It's not the most cutting edge technology, but it works, and the Bluetooth works really well. It's got the start stop and all that kind of usual stuff in here. Panoramic sunroof. This one has blind side assist. The only thing this one's missing that I really like a lot, and I couldn't buy one without, is the Bang & Olufsen stereo, which is 550 watts. I don't know what the base Audi multimedia is. It's like 200 or 300 watts, but it's not very good. I do like to listen to my music, so the Bang & Olufsen would be a must. And the 3.0, while expensive if you're buying it new, I think the cost difference is about $5,000. When you're buying them used and depreciated, like this one's a year old, it's a 15, I would definitely go with the 3.0. The steering on this car is really light, which I'm not into, so it's electric versus hydraulic, and I'm not sure what year exactly they changed that. I think in 12 or 13. I have driven the older Q5 with the hydraulic steering, and I prefer the little bit heavier feel of that car versus this car. Although around town having the light steering is great. And what really surprises me about this Q5 is how well it handles. You can really scoot this thing around some turns. You know, it's basically an A4 on stilts, but handles really well. And like I said, I'd have a really tough time in this segment choosing a crossover SUV. Although I'd never buy a crossover SUV because I'm a sports car guy. These make a compelling case. I mean, they're getting better and better, and they're actually kind of killing the sedan, you know? Everybody's selling the crap out of these, and they're starting to look better and better. The Q5 really, I think, looks better than the X3. I certainly like it better than the GLK. They just redesigned the GLK. They call it something else. I don't even know anymore. I'm a little confused by Mercedes's, you know, the way they're changing names. I don't know why they didn't call it the GLK again, but anyway, I think this one looks better. And actually, this one is due for a redesign. So The Q5, I think, gets redesigned for 18. It'll come out as a 17. It's been around since 2009, so it's getting a little long in the tooth. But regardless, this one drives great. I mean, it really does drive amazing. Brake pedal feel is good. Like I said, the handling, the all-weather handling, of course, is amazing in the Quattro. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a car with better all-weather capabilities than an Audi, right? They kind of have the famous Quattro system. I think they brought all-wheel drive to the market, actually, in the 80s in the Quattro. And they've been innovating it ever since, and it's a great system. I've driven these in foul weather, and they work wonderfully. But if you're in this market, definitely go drive a Q5. Like I said, so many choices here, man. It's really, really tough to pick one. But I love this car. I like how quiet the cabin is. I love the pano roof. I'd have to have the Bang & Olufsen stereo, and I'd also have to have the sports seats. These seats are a little uncomfortable for me. There is a sport interior you can get in the Q5, which gives you a different seat and a 3-spoke steering wheel with paddle shift, which I would enjoy a lot. Otherwise, to shift on the fly, kind of, so to speak, you just put the transmission over to the right and you can downshift and upshift yourself. But I do like having the paddles, and I do like the extra adjustments and bolstering on the sports seats. So two things I think this car is missing are the sports seats and the Bang & Olufsen. It does have the 19-inch wheels, which look really nice. And you know, if Audi continues their design language, I really like it. It's very mellow, it's very understated, and I'm sure the new Q5 is going to be great. But if you're looking for a pre-owned Q5, I think this car's awesome. Definitely go drive one, and that's it. Peace.